Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to give my praise to the Almighty for giving me the chance to be here in front, defending my thesis proposal with our panelists, RSU President Dr. Marian Mani, my former mentors, Dr. Emeline Montoya and Dr. Marife Garcia, and my advisor, Dr. Tomas Familian. To the organizers from the Graduate Education and Professional Studies, headed by Doc Mar, and of course, Doc Joffel, isang mapagpalang hapon po sa ating lahat. I am Rocky Fortu Moscoso from Calatrava, Romblon, and currently employed with the DTI Provincial Office. My thesis proposal is entitled Financial Literacy and Entrepreneurial Resilience, an aid for the development of training program for micro and small enterprises. This defense proposal will be presented based on the IMRAD format. We will have the introduction containing a brief background, the rationale of the study, objectives, significance, related literature and studies. The methodology will focus more on how I will gather the information required in this study. Of course, I will be showing you the proposed research instrument. As we all know, the coronavirus not only damaged the healthcare systems of so many nations, but at most, it has devastated many economies around the world. Health protocols reduced workforce across all economic sectors, resulting to minimal productivity and unemployment. What saddens us most is its effect to so many businesses, especially those in the micro and small enterprises. As catalysts of employment and sustainable economic growth, micro and small enterprises make up 99% of the business population in the Philippines. Also, due to the sudden closure of many businesses, unemployment rate reached as high as 17.6% since the pandemic began. These challenges to entrepreneurs gives uncertainties about the future of their business, which causes a lot of stress. Today, more than ever, it is most important to learn the values that propels entrepreneurship in the hearts of business owners in order to face the challenges of the pandemic. There are also opportunities in the pandemic just by being financially literate and just by knowing how money works. For sure, the creativity of entrepreneurs can be harnessed. In 2020, an author suggested that entrepreneurs need to understand how the pandemic has impacted the economy. Thus, it is important to gather the necessary information needed to rationalize financial decisions. Also, financial literacy and resiliency, if adopted during an early age, would help future entrepreneurs gain more sustainable perspective, even in the midst of uncertainty. It is believed that an individual with high level of financial literacy uses both intuition and cognition to facilitate financial decision making. People that rely on intuition alone prefers mental shortcuts that is largely influenced by emotions, while cognitive individuals uses mental processing in making decisions, which include reasoning, comprehending, calculating, and problem solving. Entrepreneurial resilience is founded in the psychological trait of an entrepreneur and the attribution theory. The trait theory emphasizes certain entrepreneurial characteristics such as creativity, innovation, risk management, perseverance, resilience, and foreseeability. On the other hand, the attribution theory, as a motivational construct, perceives an individual's capability to process the meaning of an event based on his or her motives and knowledge of the environment. This figure provides a framework on how the researcher will process the data collected from the survey. Independent variables will be collected from the targeted business owners and managers. The researcher believes that these variables, if given attention by policymakers in improving financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience, could pinpoint which segment of the society needs interventions that will be suggested in this study. Dependent variables includes the levels of financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience of owner, entrepreneur managers of micro and small enterprises. Financial literacy in particular is further divided into knowledge, behavior, and attitude, while entrepreneurial resiliency will be measured using the Connor-Davidson Resiliency Scale 10. Upon analyzing the financial literacy and entrepreneurial levels of entrepreneurs, the researcher can determine the specific body of financial discipline and psychological mindset of the entrepreneur that needs intervention, therefore serving as an aid for the development of training programs as the end goal of this study. With the end goal of developing training programs for MSEs, this study specifically aims to categorize profiles of the respondents as listed. The study also aims to determine the level of financial literacy of the respondents using the OECD INFE survey in 2012. This study also aims to determine the entrepreneurial level of respondents using the CDRI-SC10, finally, to determine the relationships of the given variables. Among the implications of this research is to support the development of training programs for MSEs by identifying gaps in financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience of business owners and managers. Current portfolio and industry development programs, specifically in the sector of micro and small enterprises, can also be updated. Another significance is that the results of the study can be used by those who carry out policies for entrepreneurship to define the strategic areas of development in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Continuous personal improvement in terms of financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience can also be achieved. For the academe, the output of this study can serve as baseline for improving curriculum in entrepreneurship for secondary and tertiary education. This study also justifies the need for teaching financial literacy and entrepreneurial resiliency as early as secondary education. And finally, for the society, this study can help empower communities by developing support programs such as the formation of social enterprises that meet unaddressed needs. One example of a social enterprise is an online social marketplace. This enterprise can help local products get promoted in the online community and providing other services to generate sales for their clients. As for the scope and delimitation of this study, the researcher is specific to respondents in terms of affinity that only owners and managers can participate in the survey because of their direct control and strong personal connection with the business. Respondents of the survey will be all from the province of Romblon, selected using the convenience and snowball method. At least 100 respondents are recommended for factor analysis. However, this study cannot generalize its findings in comparison to other areas due to limited coverage and that there are differences in economic, social, and cultural backgrounds. Another express limitation of this study is the industry and revenue classification of respondents. It can be noted that while some businesses like restaurants, hotels, entertainment businesses abruptly lost the market, other businesses like logistics and delivery services greatly improved their performance. However, entrepreneurs on the losing industries may still have a better level of financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience, but does not have the lack of opportunity during the pandemic. In 2012, the Organization for Economic Cooperation Development International Network on Financial Education conducted a survey regarding the financial literacy of many countries. The organization defined financial literacy as a composition of awareness, knowledge, skill, attitude, and behavior that is valuable in making reliable decisions and in managing personal finances. Also in 2013, Hastings and Madrian and Skinnyhorn defined financial literacy as the capability of an individual to utilize knowledge, skills, and resources to effectively attain lifetime financial security. The composition of financial literacy is well anchored from literatures in the dimensions of knowledge, attitude, and awareness. Some literatures related to financial literacy are enumerated. In 2011, Ramandus et al. Emphasized the contribution of financial literacy in entrepreneurial success and sustainable growth of societies. In 2012, there was a pilot study undertaken in 14 countries, which was conducted by the OECD International Network on Financial Education. And we will be using the research instrument used in this study. In 2014, Drexler, Fisher, and Skowar emphasized the shortage of financial literacy among micro entrepreneurs is a prerequisite for effective financial decision making. In 2015, Iniola and Entebang explains that if individuals running the company have shortage in financial literacy, there is more likelihood that the enterprise can go bankrupt or remain stunted. So other literature and studies in 2019, Clapper and Losardi addresses the gap between financial knowledge and consumer protection by crafting national action plans geared toward improving financial literacy. 2020, Suika et al. Conclude that males are more financially literate than females. Also in 2020, Suika et al. Said that financial literacy levels of the society should be investigated to address the gaps in attaining a sustainable economic development and individual welfare. Recently, several studies have been made linking financial literacy to entrepreneurial performance. However, published researches in Google Scholar reveals no significant studies linking financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience used for study in the concept of businesses. Tedeschi and Calhoun defines resiliency as being able to go on with a purposeful life despite the hardships and adversity. In an entrepreneurial context, many authors believe that resilient systems are those that can withstand the effects of unfavorable conditions and be able to return to a stable track. Many authors also became interested in organizational resilience in the fields of business management and economics. However, personal resilience has received little attention and related research seems to be scattered. Furthermore, there is even less research on resilience in the entrepreneurial context. In 2014, Ayala and Manzano pointed out that resilience in itself is a contributory factor of sustained action that leads to entrepreneurial success. Such success can be achieved by businesses that has the capacity to transform resilient capacities into resilient functioning by counteracting strategic misalignment that others fail to do. In 2019, Selignac et al. Conceptualized financial resilience using a multidimensional approach, which includes the use of internal and external resources, including support mechanisms that could be thrown out of times of financial crisis. However, the reliability of this resilience measure is not yet confirmed and or supported by other studies. Various authors also gave suggestions to develop individual and organizational resilience of entrepreneurs, including the capacity building on business development, participation in mentoring opportunities, practicing business acumen, and creation of a business environment that is perceived as safe by potential entrepreneurs. In 2020, strategic developments for entrepreneurs were outlined by Liguri and Pitts, which includes keeping track of potential business opportunities in the market, ensuring effective communication and customer relationships, which are critical in building trust with clients. Addressing employee needs are also critical in maintaining a resilient business and to maintain a strong connection to the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Value creation, resource leveraging, passion, and perseverance for long-term goals are also suggested. In the editorial commentary of Maritz et al. In 2020, they introduced the new category of entrepreneurs, or what they call the necessity opportunity entrepreneurs. They are the ones capable of doing a creative recombination of competence and resources that produces products short in supply. These people are helping themselves in the community, but they see opportunity aligned with necessity. They will be in a better position to accelerate economic lift-off when the pandemic eases and the new normality begins. The study is a quantitative research with a descriptive and causal research design. The study will be conducted to measure the levels of financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience among MSC OEMs assisted by the DTI Romblon Provincial Office in the province of Romblon. The study will focus on the demographic profiles of the respondents in an attempt to describe their relationship with financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience. Statistical analysis will be used to interpret the observations of this study. The study will be conducted in all municipalities of Romblon from October 2021 to March 2022. Data will be collected from individually owned single proprietorship, micro and small business from multiple industry sectors, including wholesale, retail, manufacturing, service, etc. The tables indicate the distribution of respondents. So with confidence level of 95% and margin of error of 5% from the 7,148 population given by the DTI in 2020, the research survey will have 365 participants in different municipalities of the province of Romblon. Population data is gathered through the DTI from active micro and small enterprises for 2020 and is presented in the table. With confidence level of 95% and 5% margin of error, we have 365 obtained from a population of 7,148. At least 100 participants is recommended for factor analysis. So our research instrument will have three parts. First is the demographic profile, the financial literacy questionnaire, and the entrepreneurial resilience questionnaire. For data collection, a pilot study will be conducted first among 20 MSEs in the municipality of Uchawan in order to ensure phase and content validity. The instrument is divided in two. Data will be collected from OEMs of MSEs during a self-administered questionnaire survey using the cross-sectional approach. After validation of the instrument, the researcher will request permission from the provincial director of DTI to gather the necessary information by coordinating with the negotiation center staff in different municipalities of the province. For ethical considerations, respondents will be informed about the purpose of the research, that participation was voluntary, and that confidentiality and anonymity are guaranteed. After 2 to 3 months of data collection, it will be consolidated, analyzed, and interpreted. The researcher will use descriptive statistics, correlation, and regression analysis to examine relationships between variables. The latest version of statistical package for social sciences, SPSS, will be used for data processing. Cronbach's alpha will also be used to measure reliability. So this will be my questionnaire containing introduction, a questionnaire regarding the demographic profile of the respondents, and this will be the questionnaire for financial literacy, which includes questionnaire for financial knowledge, financial behavior, and financial attitude. To get the final financial literacy score, we will be adding all the correct scores of this 3 components. So each question represents a specific topic of financial literacy. And of course, in the behavior section, it represents different behaviors and attitudes. We also have the Entrepreneurial Resilience Questionnaire, which is adapted from the Connor Davidson Resiliency Scale. But this version is adapted by Campbell, Seals, and Stein, and is already a questionnaire for use for entrepreneurs. So we have 10 questions wherein to get the final entrepreneurial resilience score, we will be adding all the numbers and will be interpreted based on their final score. So as quoted by Benjamin Franklin, the researcher believes that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Therefore, just being here, I am very happy to present this proposal to my panelists and of course to my advisor. So thank you very much for listening. I am ready for your questions, comments, and suggestions.
Okay, so thank you so much to Sir Moscoso. So we are now on question and answer portion, also for suggestions and recommendations with regards to the manuscript of Mr. Moscoso. First, we have Dr. Montoya to provide question and answers and recommendations or suggestions. Ma'am, you have 10 minutes po.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone, to my co-panelists, good afternoon. So, Mr. Rocky, thank you for a very nice and comprehensive presentation. But then first, my observation is on the title of your study. This is all about financial literacy and entrepreneurial resilience and aid for developing training programs for micro and small enterprise. So as if can we have it just an input for developing a training for the development of a training programs for micro and small enterprises. So kasi sa akin na-awkward ako dito sa aid for na so parang okay kung inputs for the development of training programs for micro and small enterprises. Now, then another observation, may I just ask, sinasabi nga natin na yung study natin ay we will be generalizing, magbibigay tayo ng generalization. So, nakadepende yung reliability of our study depends upon how did you choose or select your respondents or the samples, no? So according to you, there are 7,000. How did you distribute the samples in the different municipalities? What did you use? Sarado po. Oo.
Hello, sir. Okay na ba?
Okay.
Yan. Yes, Doc Ems, bali, dito po sa office, meron kaming list of business registry.
Yes.
Sa business registry, meron kasi kaming active and inactive. So, ang pinili ko lang po is yung active. Ibig sabihin, existing pa rin sila hanggang ngayon at hindi pa po na-terminate yung kanilang business. And then, ang ginawa ko po is base po doon sa population nila per municipality, dinistribute ko po sila. So, kung ilan po yung percentage ng population, halimbawa po sa Ujongan, which is 13%. Yung pinakamalaking share po is nasa Ojongan. So, yun
Okay.
po yung distribution na ginawa ko po.
So how did you arrive at 300, 300 something
365 po.
respondents? Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
365.
Ma'am, bali, kinumpute ko lang po siya at 95% yung kanyang level and 5% margin of error. 95% confidentiality and 5% margin of error.
Anong ginamit mo?
Bali, inano ko lang siya, ma'am, in-online ko lang para mas mabilis.
So dapat ilalagay yun sa ano, doon din sa, dito sa chapter 3, how did you choose your sample? Kasi importante yun. Tinitingnan natin yan eh. Then, kasi very clear naman yung sa akin kung ano yung resilience at saka financial literacy. Then another observation yung sa questionnaire, meron kang ano yung first part to measure yung knowledge, although it was just adapted to questionnaire from yung sa OO. Pero pag akong respondent, let's say for instance, pag akong respondent, parang kasi micro ito eh.
Yes,
Na?
ma'am. Opo.
Parang hindi ano sa akin yung questionnaire mo na I have to compute, I have to yung i-simplify ba natin doon sa mga para doon sa mga respondents kasi I understand yung mga micro at ng SMEs natin ay small
Yes, ma'am.
ay very busy yan. So pag nagbigay ka ng questionnaire, sometimes ayaw ngang sagutan eh kung ano na lang, di ba?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
para maging very reliable yung study natin, i-simplify natin. Siguro pwede naman natin, although it was adapted from kung saan mo kinuha yun, pero dapat ay i-ano natin yun, i-simplify. Yung sa knowledge lang,
Yes, ma'am.
financial ano yan? Financial knowledge.
Opo.
Yung
Ma'am,
sa
pwede ba siyang itagalog?
as much as possible, depende kasi sa respondent sa mapili mo eh. Hindi naman lahat ng na under ng sa ano sa SMSE at saka yung sa ano mga mahirap nga tayo sa training as per ano ha per experience kasi we're partners eh. Kasi I understand this will be used for as an input for ano a training program ng DTI. So dapat nga yung naiintindihan natin yung questionnaire at masasagutan ng tama so that your study will be more reliable yung magiging result niya. Actually, yun lang ang kasi na-discuss na natin ito no sa ano mo title defense eh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yun ang ano ko naman ngayon.
Yes, ma'am, noted po. Bali, yung aid po is papalitan ko na lang ng input. That's ano po.
Kung agree din yung mga ano natin, yung other panelists natin, baka may mas maganda din silang suggestions or recommendations, then we'll meet together para sa ikagaganda ng study mo, then why not?
Yes,
Kung
ma'am.
agree sila. So far, yun lang ang ano ko. Nakita ko dito.
Thank you po.
Natulog na ako. Hi na ako sa tea. Okay. So, good afternoon everyone.
Good
afternoon.
I'll pick up to the last statement of Doc Ems Montoya na itong proposal na to ay nahimay ito ng todo. Chapters 1 to 3 na yung kanyang predecessor. Hindi lang title nung last na nag-title defense siya. So, same observation, yung unaid, kasi naman parang grant and aid, parang may pera agad. Wala naman, so input lang. Pwedeng input, pwedeng basis. No? So, I go for input. Input for developing training programs for micro and small enterprises. Next, I hope to see that the word financial literacy is operationally defined simply and clearly in your ano. Kasi yung financial literacy, parang overuse yan ngayon kahit sa social media, kahit sa mga training, ang dami. Pero yung content ay iba-iba. So I hope you can operationally define the financial literacy in your study as well as entrepreneurial resilience. Ano ibig sabihin ng entrepreneurial resilience? So, kung common reader, no, hindi ito agad mag-grasp. Kaya dapat simplihan ang definition mo. Kagaya ngayon, pag tatanungin kita, anong boundary mo ng financial literacy sa usapin ng iyong pananaliksik? Kakayahan nino ng mga ng SMS saan?
Yes, ma'am. Yung financial literacy po, no, sa base po dito sa aking research is the capability of these micro and small enterprises to answer the very basic topics regarding financial literacy like pagdating sa mga savings, sa mga budgeting, and of course yung basic operations po na ginagamit sa pagdating sa mga transactions sa pera.
Okay, ulitin ko lang ha. Sabi mo savings, budgeting. Ang pinag-uusapan natin ay SMS para sila ay maging entrepreneurially resilient.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
po.
So di ba ang mahalaga ay pag financial literacy ang pinag-uusapan para sa mga taong yon, mahalagang alam nila yung bookkeeping, yung
Yes, po.
pag-file ng ledger, yun dapat ang literate sila doon para
Yes.
alam nila ang pag-compute ng may kinita ba sila o nalugi ba sila, kung paano nila lalagyan ng X value ang kanilang labor kasi yun doon sila lagi nalulugi, hindi nila yun nabavaluehan. So yun yung mga aspeto ng financial literacy. These are actually practical knowledge on financial management as well as business management na dapat alam nila. So bago darating tayo doon sa savings, na sa bawat kikitain, how many percent of the kinita, of the profit, should be saved. So dapat yun yung mga matututunan nila. And budgeting.
Yes, po.
Budgeting. So yun yun. So bibilangin mo lang yun kung 5 aspects yun, dun mo ilimit mo doon. Hindi baga samot-sari. Kasi pag financial literacy doon sa ibang usapin na, halimbawa sa mga professional, ang tututukan mo doon ay utang management. Kung paano nila mamamanage yung mga pagkakalubog sa utang. So may mga ganong aspeto. But since you are handling SMS, no? At isa pa nito, dapat sa financial literacy mo, maipasok mo yung aspeto ng responsibility and accountability sa pangungutang. Dahil ang mga small and medium enterprises ay naglo-loan para makasimula ng kanilang mga proyekto. So pero karamihan sa kanila bumabagsak pagdating sa bayaran. So dapat maging bahagi yan ng inyong financial literacy na iso-survey para isa siya sa tututukan mo pagdating mo doon sa developing training programs. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sige ha. Next. Entrepreneurial resilience. Ang ibig mo bang sabihin, katulad ngayong may pandemic, yung mga SMS dapat mag-thrive pa rin sila. Pero paano? So ano dapat ang kanilang mga capabilities, ang kanilang mga abilidad para sa panahon ng pandemya, dahil ang pandemya ay maaring matapos ngayon pero may darating uli na pandemya, ay maging resilient sila. So para bang yung kantang No Matter What,
Yes,
na kahit na ano ang sitwasyon at kondisyon, tuloy ang kanilang paghahanap buhay. Kung hindi man angkop yung kanilang produkto ngayon, magiging resilient sila, masasabi nating resilient sila kapag nakakapag-shift sila into another product at nakakapag-create ng demand doon sa product na kanilang pinoproduce. So yun yung quote-unquote definition para sa akin ng entrepreneurial resilience. Sige po, bumagyo man at umaraw, tuloy dapat
Tuloy ang negosyo.
negosyo ang kanilang pinagkikitaan. Okay. So again, yung sa financial literacy, yung responsibility and accountability ha. Okay, ng panghihiram ng puhunan at pagsasauli ng puhunan. At i-emphasize mo ang savings sa profit nila at ang pagbibigay ng value, ng extra value doon sa labor nila. Kasi many times hindi nila binavaluehan yun. Okay, next. What specific gap does your study wants to address? Para lang, in a quick ano lang.
Yes po.
Bakit ito ang nakita mong study?
Bali, dito po kasi sa study ko is gusto po nating malaman yung level ng financial literacy at saka entrepreneurial resilience ng ating mga micro and small enterprises. Katulad nga po nung sabi nyo kanina, is marami tayong mga micro and small enterprises na medyo hindi masyadong maalam pagdating sa usapan ng mga transactions, pagdating sa pera, no, yung responsibility and accountability. Bali, once na masukat po natin kung doon po kasi sa ating questionnaire, iba't iba po yung topic doon regarding doon sa financial literacy. Kasama na po doon yung mga savings, yung expenses, may mga questions po doon. Once po na na-identify natin na medyo kulang sila sa kakayahan doon, doon po tayo papasok. Doon po papasok yung ating intervention. Pagdating naman po sa entrepreneurial resiliency, sa entrepreneurial resiliency po kasi, this pertains to the personal resilience po ng ating mga owners and managers. So iba't iba pong resilience scale. Yung resilience scale po na ginamit natin dyan is tested na po no, pagdating sa mga entrepreneurs.
Okay. So, do you have a data? DOST is helping small SMEs. Tumutulong yan. DTI also help them. Dolly also help them. St. Vincent also help them. Now, what's the success in terms of percentage? What's the success rate of all these programs? Dapat may data ka nun. What's the success level or success rate of all the programs given by different national and agencies, even non-government organizations to SMEs in
Yes, ma'am.
in the ano yung ano lang.
Siguro dito na lang sa part namin sa DTI, ma'am, no. I will be very honest po sa inyo, no. Pagdating sa implementation po ng ating livelihood programs. For example, ma'am, we have this livelihood seeding program na pinapamigay namin sa mga barangay. Bali, we have packages ranging from 5,000 to 8,000 na binibigay natin dito sa mga beneficiaries, especially po ngayong pandemic. So, ang nangyayari, once na naibigay na po namin yung package sa kanila, after a month or two, i-monitor namin sa kanila kung may nagkaroon ba sila ng sales, is wala po silang may report. So, yun po ang nagiging problema. And ang nakikita ko po kasi doon, kasi pag binigay po yung mga project sa kanila is walang responsibility, walang accountability. Tapos yung iba po binibenta na lang para magkapera kaagad, hindi ginagamit sa pagninegosyo. So yun po yung nakikita kong gap.
If you will not address that, that will be a cycle. Repeated lang yan, repeated. Di ba, nung mga anak pa tayo, ang mga magulang natin, gano'n na yun, nangihiram na.
Yes po.
Dapat ang pinamana sa atin, mga negosyo na. Di ba? Pero at ngayon, nangungutang pa din tayo para magsimula pa rin tayong SMS, di ba?
Yes po.
Ay, napakasakit, Kuya Eddie. Kuya Rocky. Ngayon, yun ang nais ko sanang maging challenge sa'yo. So you mentioned that in your background of the study, in your introduction, na ang naging malaking dahilan at inspirasyon ni Rocky Moscoso para gawin ito ay dahil sa ngayon ang DTI ay nakatingala kung siguro i-blow out kita kung nadating ninyo ang 25% success rate, return. No, wala.
Kakayanin, ma'am.
Doon sa pagbayad sa utang. Okay. In other words, doon sa iyong financial literacy na ika-craft later on, ay bigyang diin mo yon. Bigyang diin mo yon. At saka yung iyong entrepreneurial resilience. At i-challenge mo talaga sila na kayo ngayon na mga grantees o di kaya ay mga borrowers, ang ipamana ninyo sa inyong mga anak ay business, ay negosyo, hindi bayaring utang. Okay. Okay. So, to last. Okay. Punta tayo sa SOPs mo.
Yes, ma'am.
Ang SOPs ay specific objectives of the problem. So, meron kang 6. Okay. Dito sa 6 mo, ang tanong ko lang ay, why are you interested in the biographical profile or demographic profile of your respondents?
Yes po. Medyo interested lang po ako dyan kasi yung pagdating sa statistics, gusto natin malaman sino ba yung mas financially literate, kung male or female, kung sino rin po yung mas resilient, no?
Okay.
Kung anong age at saka kung ano po.
Ngayon, bakit hindi ko naman nakita na gagamitin mo pala si SOP number 1 to the rest of your SOPs? Wala naman ditong nagsasabing gagamitin mo, i-correlate mo yung gender, yung age, yung educational qualification, yung age of the firm to the rest of the SOPs. Dapat mai-integrate mo siya.
Yes, ma'am.
So, mas mapapalalim yung masasabi mo ngayon na yung mga babae at mga may asawa at medyo nasa edad na nanay o lola na ang tawag sa kanila ay mas taas ang integridad, ang responsibilidad at accountabilidad sa pagbayad ng kanilang mga utang or sa pag-manage ng kanilang mga negosyo kaya sila ay mas successful. O di kaya naman, maaari mong makita na yung mga bata pala na mga entrepreneurs ay mas agresibo at mas todo kapag nag sa negosyo o ganon. So mas malaki ang kanilang chances na kumita ng malaki dahil sila ay mas aggressive. Pero mas malakas, mas high ang risks nila, di ba? So yung mga ganong correlation, ang relationship ang iyong titingnan. Kasi kung hindi mo naman siya magagamit, bakit mo pa siya ilalagay? So kailangan magamit mo ang SOP number 1, ma-relate mo to the rest of the SOPs. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes po.
Okay.
It will be, papakita po natin yan sa results.
Oh, very good. Okay. Sige, so the rest, you just improve your RRL and the way it is written, hindi copy-pasted, kundi dapat ay you put a soul to your writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Pag sinabing ito ang sinabi ni Tomas Paminyan, ito naman ang sinabi ni Emeline Montoya. Pero ang naiisip ko at ang ayon sa aking research data, it either negates or it could confirm the results of the study of Dr. Paminyan or Dr. Montoya. Ang pag-web mo nung aayusin mo.
Yes
ang
po.
pagtahi mo nung And again, this is very weak in all our RRL. I have observed na mahirap, hindi tayo gumagamit ng transitional phrases. Para pag nagbabasa ka, makikita mong magkarugtong. May continuity. So, okay, that's all from me. Back to you, Doc Libs.
Thank you po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Okay, good afternoon po. Ang aking po observation sa study ni Sir Randy, ang kanyang following sakit sa tenga, saglit lang po. Ayan po. Okay na po.
Mercy, nag-i-echo yung microphone ninyo.
Okay na po. Ang observation ko po sa report ni Sir Rocky, yung kanyang format po ng kanyang thesis. And then po, agree po doon ako sa sinabi ni Presmani about to sa background ni Sir Rocky na kinulang po siya sa gap. So, yung question na baga, sir, na why did you conduct this study that will be connected to your statement of the problem? Doon ka po, sir, nagkulang sa background. Sana po mailagay mo siya, yung gap po na kailangan mo ilagay. And then, sa iyong methodology, wala po, sir, nakalagay kung how will you process your study po. Kasi po sa iyong framework na pinakita, you use the IPO. Gumamit ka po ng input process output method.
Yes po, yes po.
So, saan po doon ang iyong process? So, hindi po naka-specify ang process mo sa iyong study. Kailangan po siya mailagay mo to, ang din po yun sa iyong methods of research. And then po, regarding po doon sa iyong questionnaire, although you adapted as an instrument sa ibang title o sa ibang researches, pero dapat po ang ating research is connected sa iyong study or related siya. Okay lang na mag-adapt, pero pwede din yung madagdagan. Kasi naglagay ka po sa iyong theory, diba meron kang theory na financial literacy theory at saka resiliency theory.
Yes po.
This is the framework of your study na hindi po nakita doon sa iyong methods. So, pag magka-come up ka po sa iyong study talaga, lahat ng sinabi ni Ma'am Pres, ni Madam President at saka ni Doc Montoya, papasok po siya doon sa iyong theory na financial literacy theory, yung kanyang mga determinants po ng financial literacy, kagaya sinasabi in theory, meron po doon na psychological factors, social factors, economic factors, self-efficacy, and goal setting. Diba lahat po tayo mga SMEs, lahat ng mga micro, ano ba ang goal nila? Bakit sila papasok into an SME or micro entrepreneur? So, yung pong limang na yon, na determinants po yun, nakalagay po siya doon sa iyong financial literacy theory. And then, meron din po nasambit si Doc Manny kanina, tungkol sa mga nagkaroon ng COVID, nagkaroon ng mga sa budgetings, ano pa. Tapos ngayon, doon po papasok yung attributes, yung sa resiliency theory mo po, na meron doon nakalagay na creativity and innovation, risk management, organizational management, kung paano mag-manage ang ating mga SMEs or micro-MSEs, and perseverance, resilience, at ang kanilang foreseeability. So nakita mo yun, sir, sa iyong theory?
Yes po, ma'am.
So, dapat doon po sa kung just suggestions ko lang po, yung study mo po is connected dapat siya doon from the start of your theory hanggang sa iyong methodology, hanggang po doon sa iyong instrument. Yung mga questions na po dito sa iyong instrument is makikita din po siya doon sa iyong, na pwede mong ilagay doon sa determinants at saka sa attributes ng financial literacy at saka ng inyong entrepreneurial resiliency. This is yung nasa theoretical framework mo po. Yun po sa akin naging observation. So itong iyong nilagay po dito sa objectives po to determine the relationship between knowledge, behavioral, attitude, and literacy is papasok po siya doon sa iyong determinants ng financial literacy. Ano po bang determinants ng financial literacy mo na tinatawag? So doon po meron tayong psychological factors, social, economic, tsaka self-efficacy ng isang tao bago siya pumasok sa SMEs. At yung mga, sa professor, yung mga literature, kasi halos hindi siya mag-up doon po sa iyong study. So kulang po, parang putol-putol lang yung nangyari sa iyong RRL. Yun po sa aking observation sa study po, sir. Tapos agree naman po ako doon sa naging title na nirecommend po ni Dr. Montoya. Yan po, Sir Rocky.
Yes po. Ay, pwede po ako magtanong. Yes po. May questions po ako no, kung okay lang. Pagdating po sa aking research, kasi since pandemic nga tayo, is it possible po na gumamit ako ng Google Forms to reach our respondents?
Po sa akin, sir, pwede po, kasi yun po ginagamit namin sa undergrads sa ngayon. Kung kilala nyo naman po yung mga clients nyo at may email address naman sila at may messenger or GC kayo, pwede naman po yun.
Yes po. Kasi we have sub-offices, negosyo centers in other towns na pwede namin utilize.
Okay po sa akin, sir.
Thank you po.